Hey y'all. This post may be a little long today, so stick with it and watch it to the end, um, and hopefully it'll help you. But I wanted to talk a little today about depression, and I've kind of touched on that before, done a few songs about what the Lord had been showing me, because I had struggled with that before. But I just want to share like a little bit more, kind of a little more in depth about depression and how it affects people. And so if somebody that you know, or somebody that you love is going through, maybe you can kind of understand it a little bit better. And if you're watching this and you're going through it, hopefully you'll realize that there are people out there who get you and understand what you're going through. So I've dealt with depression a couple of times. I think really the first time was after my first child was born, which is almost 21 years ago. And back then, a lot of people really didn't talk about postpartum depression. So I really think that what I walked through then was directly related to a hormonal imbalance. It was just crazy. It came on all of a sudden right after my daughter was born. And the single thought that just kept running through my head all the time was how much better she would be without me there. That I was a horrible mother, and that if I was just out of the picture, that Robert could remarry and she could have a great mom like she deserved, because I wasn't one. And it went on for a couple of weeks, I guess, maybe even the first month after she was born. But thankfully, I got through it. The Lord helped me. And then again, I struggled this past year with depression, and I talked about that some, but I just had a lot of family drama that was going on, a lot of stuff going on, just life stuff. And then, of course, my dad passed away. It's been almost a year. He passed away in September last year, so it's been almost a year. Or maybe it's, yeah, I think this week is a year. So anyway, and somebody was trying to be really sweet, and they walked up to me at the funeral and was like, well, I just want you to know, I know how you feel. We're orphans now. Because my mom died several years ago. And so, after my dad passed away, and just the comment, it was meant to be a really, I know what you're going through kind of thing. I just want you to know that you're not alone, and I understand. But it did something to me, just that comment, like, I'm an orphan. I really am. Like, I don't have parents anymore. They're not here. And even though I had a great family, I love my husband, love my kids, I don't really know what happened, except that it just hit me really hard. And on top of all the other problems that was going on in my life, it just blew up into this whole thing. And I was so depressed. And I didn't even know really that I was depressed walking through it. It wasn't until I really started coming out of it that I was like, that was depression. Like, I was dealing with some big time depression. All I knew at the time was that I could not deal with reality. I couldn't deal with reality. Reality was too hard. I didn't know how to process everything that had happened. I didn't want to talk to anybody about it. I pushed friends and family away. I just wanted to be alone. And honestly, I started self-medicating through food And I know that that may sound whatever, but food is the acceptable addiction for Christians, because it's not a drug, but you can go out and go through a pint of Ben and Jerry's, just to make yourself feel better. And it will for a little bit, it will for a little bit until you get all the bad side effects like the weight gain and the just feeling bad from all the sugar or whatever it is that you're, it's a way to numb the pain and not deal with it. So I struggled with that, and then I had insomnia, so I couldn't sleep, but I didn't really want to sleep anyway. So I just kind of binged on like Netflix and TV, and I'm just trying to be really honest with y'all, because watching Hallmark Channel Always Have a Happy Ending was so much better than the life that I was going through, I thought, or watching a sci-fi or some kind of crazy fantasy took me out of real life because I knew that could never happen. So it was so much better just to be distracted than to try to get through what I was going through. And then just thinking I am a complete failure because I've totally neglected my family. I don't even want to be around anybody as much as I love my kids. I was angry because I wasn't getting sleep and because I was, battling. And it's just this never ending cycle. So I felt like just this horrible parent because I can't make myself push through this, but I want to. And I want to feel better, and I want to be a good parent, but I don't know how to get through this. And then you just go back into it again because you feel so bad about yourself that, you just keep doing the things that you don't want to do. And so it just like never ends. It just never ends. And so we went to family counseling. And I want to put this note in there real quick. I want to say real quick. Okay, look, here's the deal. People can be so judgy. Okay, just because you are a Christian and you love the Lord, when it comes to any kind of mental issue, whether it's depression or it's mental illness or whatever it is, no, the Lord did not cause that. He doesn't make people sick. Okay, so yes, I understand that. But if you have a headache, 90% of the people that are going to take an aspirin. If you found out that you were diagnosed with some horrible illness like cancer, you're going to go through chemotherapy. But you tell somebody that you've been on antidepressants or had to talk to a counselor, and if they know that you're a Christian, so many of them will look at you and judge you. Okay, here's the thing. It's just like any other medication. If you have to have it, use it, be on it until the Lord heals you. Okay, you're healed. So until your body starts lining up to it, be on the medication you need to be on. Okay, there's no shame in that. So let's just get that out of there. Okay. Anyway, my point is that little by little I started to love myself, and that was probably the root issue out of everything to begin with, because that's what the enemy does. He makes you not want to love yourself. He makes you want to feel ashamed of who you are. He comes at you with lies that you believe. And so beginning to learn how to love you, even in your mess, okay? Because God loves us. God loves us in our mess, but we have to learn to love ourselves in it, okay? And that's really hard to do sometimes, is to say, I don't like the weight gain, but I did what I had to do to feel better. So even though that's not the way that I want to live anymore, I can love myself in this place, however many pounds overweight I am. Okay. I can love me. and I can say, man, my body is strong and it handled it, and I did the best that I could do at the time. So here I am and I'm okay. All right. So, I was thinking just about how a lot of people don't understand depression, especially, like in the Christian world, okay? Because, the fruit of the Spirit is love and joy, right? And yes, it is. But if you're battling through that, okay, it just, you can ask the Lord to show you what's causing that, because it's not from Him, and then let Him take it away from you. But it may not happen overnight. For me, it's been like this process, okay? And so I just was sitting down and I thought, what would I want people who don't get this? What would I want people who are going through this, or whatever, to understand about depression, okay? And the thing is, when it was the worst, I couldn't think about tomorrow's going to be better, because I was having such a hard time getting through the moment, the today, right? And if I thought about how bad it had been yesterday, then I couldn't get through today. So all I could do was get through like moment by moment, like minute by minute, like, the now. Get through the now. And when I started doing that, when I started saying, okay, God, I don't feel you in this place. I know that you're here because you don't ever leave me, but I don't feel you in this place. My emotions are crazy. I don't know how to handle it, and I don't know what's going on, and I don't want to be this way. But if I can just get through just this moment, like if I can get through just this moment, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. If I can get through this moment, then I can take the next moment, because I've lived through this one. I've been strong enough to live through this one so I can make it through the next one. But I'm not even thinking about the next one right now. I'm just thinking about the moment that I'm in. And I think that's my whole point. That's what I want to say is, if you know somebody that's going through depression, they don't want to feel that way. They don't want to be that way. They want to move past it. But you telling them to just get over it is not going to help them. It's not. It's just going to make things worse, because they're telling themselves that. Why can't I just get over this? Why can't I just get past this? And if you're walking through depression, if you're going through depression now, know that you don't have to worry about tomorrow. You don't have to worry about yesterday. Get through this moment, and look at how many moments you've gotten through. You've gotten through so many. Just get through this moment, okay? And know that the Lord never leaves you. He's not judging you. He's not condemning you. He's not thinking, why can't you get it together? He's wanting to help you get it together. So you just trust Him, okay? Just trust Him and just get through the moment that you're at. And if you need medication, be on medication. Don't be condemned about having to take an antidepressant. Or if you're struggling with anxiety, which is something I've never struggled with. The depression, yeah, but not the anxiety. And I couldn't understand people who were struggling through anxiety until I had people that I love struggle through it. If you need to be on something for the anxiety, there's no condemnation in that, okay? You just keep believing that you are healed and the Lord has healed you, and you do the medication you have to do until until your body lines up with what the Lord is saying, because He can heal anything and He wants you healed and He'll do it. But there's just so much wrong with people thinking that it's not okay for you to get help, because it is, okay? So anyway, so I wrote this song, and I hope that this song helps you understand if you don't, and I hope it helps you get through if you're in the middle of it. So, and this is a long post, like I said, but just watch it till the end. It'll be good. Okay. Yesterday it may have been horrible. Yesterday it may have been a really, really yesterday it may have been unspeakable, but I survived. I survived. And yesterday the pain was crippling. Yesterday it hurt just to breathe. Yesterday I felt so alone, but I survived. I survived. And today the sun is gonna shine. Oh, today the sun is gonna shine. Oh, today I know you're by my side, and I'm taking it 1 minute at a time. It's okay. Today's a new day. Yeah, today the sun is gonna shine. Oh, today the sun is gonna shine. Today I know you're by my side, and I'm taking it 1 minute at a time. It's okay. Today's a new day. And I won't let the pain consume me. And I won't hold on to my past. Oh, I know you are right here with me, and I'll be okay. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. 'Cause today the sun is gonna shine. Oh, today the sun is gonna shine. And today you're by my side, and I'm feeling fine. And it's okay. Today's a new day. Yeah, it's okay. Today's a new day. Okay, guys. So, I hope that blessed you, that helped you understand a little more about depression, and if you're walking through it, talk to somebody about it. Talk to your doctor or a counselor or a family member. Just be honest. They're not going to reject you because you're being honest. At some point in every person's life, they have all walked through something that was difficult. So, and if they don't get you, move on to the next person, and keep doing that until you find somebody who listens, and know that the Lord loves you, and He is always with you, and He, even when you can't feel Him. Okay, because some days we just can't. We let our emotions get the best of us, and we just can't feel His presence. Not because He's not there, but just because we get so consumed. We allow the pain to consume us. We get so caught up in what's going on that we can't feel Him. But He's there, and He doesn't leave you ever. He wants to be your best friend. He loves you. You're His kid. He thinks you're great and wonderful and beautiful. And just have hope, because you've made it to this point and you can make it to the next. So have a blessed day.